Hello students, welcome to my 10 minutes math channel. This is teacher Brenda here. So today's lesson we would look into part 18 and we would explore how to calculate the end time. Now before we understand or before we learn how to calculate the end time, you guys must be familiar that when given a question related to time duration, there are three important information that you should know. Now, the first information is the start time of an event. The second information is usually the duration, or we call it the elapsed time, how long that event happened, okay? The elapsed time of an event. And the third information is the end time. Now, with these three information, usually one of them would be what you need to find. Like in our previous video, we were calculating the duration given the start time and given the end time. In today's video, we would learn how to calculate the end time, that is this one. In that case, we should expect that we are given the information on the start time as well as the duration. So if all that's clear, then we can move on to the next slide in which we can sort of figure out if we are given the start time of an event, we are given how long the event takes place, then how do we calculate the end time? Now, if I were to draw this on a timeline and say, for example, an event started at 9 o'clock in the morning, okay? And I would put there as 9 a.m. So when I write my time as 9 a.m., please note that I am writing it in the 12-hour system, okay? Subsequently, I can also write it in the 24-hour system in which I would put the time as 0900 hours, okay? So in whichever system we are given the time, it doesn't really matter, but as long as we know which system are we using. And then the second information is, for example, the time duration, and assuming in this case, maybe the event took about 2.5 hours. So another way of answering this question would be to simply draw a timeline, put in the start time, put in the duration, and as you can see, to find the end time, all you need to do is take your start time and add it with the time duration. Add whatever duration that happened so that you could end up with the end time. So let's look at some questions here. And let's see, the first question we have here is, an event, say, started at 10:10 in the morning. Now, please note, this is given in the 12-hour system, 10:10 a.m., okay? And the duration was for 2 hours and 15 minutes. Now, how do I calculate the end time? Now, for quite a simple question like that, you could straight away start writing your answer by first writing down the time it started. For example, this would be 10:10. Again, why do I have two columns? Because one is for the hours and one is for the minutes. Now, even if I were to write this as a 24-hour system, 10:10 would still be written this way. And plus with your time duration, which is 2 hours. So make sure your 2 is under the hours column, and the 15 minutes goes into the minutes. Now, when you add both of these numbers, you got to add them separately. So we'll start with the minutes first. So 10 minutes plus 15 minutes, you would end up with 25 minutes. Pretty easy, okay? And 10 hours plus 2 hours, you would end up at 12. So in other words, your end time is 12:25 p.m. Now note the point that if the question gives you the time in the 12-hour system, make sure you also answer it in the same 12-hour system. Okay, let's look at another example. What if we have a question like this? Now in this question, an event started at 11:35 hours, okay? 11:35 hours, and it took 10 hours and 35 minutes. What time did it end? So let's write down our start time. Again, this is the column for hours and this is the column for minutes. So 11 hours, 35 minutes. Okay, this is 11:35 in the morning. Plus add with 10 hours and 35 minutes again. So over here, start with your minutes first. 5 and 5, 10. Over here, we will have 3 and 3, 6, 6 plus 1, 7. So we'll have 70 minutes. And over here in the hours column, we would have 21. Now, please, I hope you know that 70 minutes is more than 60 minutes. Thus, it needs to be converted. And how do you do that? You take off 60 minutes from the minutes because it's an hour and you add 1 hour into the hours column. And that will give you 22 here and over here 10 minutes. Okay, 22 hours and 10 minutes. Now, how do you write that? Now, remember, look back at our question. The question is in the 24-hour system. So your answer is also to be written in the same 24-hour system. So you just write 22, 10 hours. Okay, and that completes your answer. Now, if I were to change this to the 12-hour system, it means an event started at 11:35 a.m., okay, in the morning. And if it lasted for 10 hours and 35 minutes, what time did it end? 22, 10 hours, it's 10 p.m. So this is a basic conversion, okay, between the 12 and the 24-hour system. Let's clear this and look at the third example. Here, we have an event that states that started at 11:30, okay, a.m. All right, however, it took only 4 hours and 45 minutes. So let's do the same thing. Before we move on, if you are ever confused, okay, how do I take 11:30? If you're going to write like this, 11:30, okay, and then add on with another 4 hours and 45 minutes, please note the point that you are writing this in actually the 12-hour system. You're just dividing it into hours and minutes, just like how the time looks under a 12-hour system. So given any time, if you're given time in the 24-hour system, the easiest way sometimes to work is to convert it to the 12-hour system. So over here, we add 4 hours and 45 minutes. And what will we end up with? Over here, we'll have 75 minutes. And in this column for the hours, we would have 15 hours. Okay, so minus 60, because it's more than 1 hour. And over here, we plus 1 hour. And that gives us, the hour will be 16 and the minutes would be 15. Now, some children may make the mistake of writing this as 16 hours and 15 minutes. Now, if you happen to write this answer, then you should understand that this is completely wrong. This is not an end time. When you say an end time, it must specifically refer to either the 12-hour system or the 24-hour system. You must tell exactly when the time ended. When you give something like 16 hours and 15 minutes, it looks more like a representation of time duration. It's the units of time here. So never ever write your answer straight away like that. Understand what you are trying to find. You are trying to find the end time. So you don't go and write down 3 hours, 15 minutes, 6 hours, 30 minutes. You don't give the duration as an answer. You give an end time. You give an accurate end time, whether it's an AM or a PM. Okay, or whether it's in the 12-hour or 24-hour system. Now, in this case, our question is in the 12-hour system. So over here, 16:45 this whole thing is written in the 24-hour system to help ease with calculation. So 16:15, what time is it? So 16:15 hours, if you convert it to the 12-hour system, you are going to just minus 12 from this number, 1600, and you would end up with 4. You put a dot, you put it like a decimal dot, and you would write 4:15. And then you know this is more than 12, which means this is already in the afternoon. So it's 4:15 p.m. So this is how you write the answer accurately. So you note that you're giving a certain time when an event ended. You know a certain time when an event started. And there's a big difference between the start time, end time, and the duration. The duration is always in the units of time, hours, minutes, seconds, days, months. It could be anything, all right? That is all the duration. However, a start time or an end time will specifically refer to a time. It can even refer to a date, for example, 2nd December until 31st December. And these are examples that we will see in our future videos. So till then, bye and happy learning. Hope you enjoyed the lesson. Hope you learned. And if you did, do not forget to like and share. Subscribe, yeah? Bye.